ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Thank you very much, Bill. Hi, friends. Welcome again to the... Anyone for surfing? Or ironing? Looks like an ironing board, doesn't it? Actually, what I have here is a menu from a rather extraordinary restaurant. As you can see, the tax-exempt items on the menu are peace, gratitude, joy, love, a host of other goodies. Also at this restaurant, they serve magnificent food. The restaurant's unusual, to say the least, and we will meet the lady who runs it as soon as we say hello to our panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Gene Rayburn, Kitty Carlisle, Alan Alda, and Peggy Cass.
I have to go on the other end.
And we are foregathered once more, and Kitty and Peggy are all in their places with sunshiny faces.
Oh.
We used to say in kindergarten. And let me see, Bill Cullen is off this week. He is vacationing still. And in his place, we have Mr. Gene Rayburn.
Thank you.
Hello there. And since Gene is filling in for Bill, we were unable to get hold of Gene as our regular guest. And so filling in for Gene Rayburn, we have Mr. Alan Alda.
And filling in for Kitty, you have Peggy.
That's right, yeah. And there ain't nobody sitting in for me because of a basic feeling I have about this job. Insecurity.
And we have it about
It's called insecurity. It's the feeling I have about it. Let us now meet a most extraordinary restaurant owner.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Kathrine Leddick.
Number two.
My name is Kathrine Leddick.
Number three.
My name is Kathrine Leddick.
And here is the tax-free testimonial of Kathrine Leddick. It says, I, Kathrine Leddick, am the proprietor of a unique restaurant called the Liberty Eatery and Antique Emporium. Located on the banks of the famed Champlain Canal, my restaurant features the most delicious of homemade foods. We bake our own bread, cakes, and pies. Our waiters and kitchen helpers are youngsters that I have adopted into my family. Before I started my restaurant, the building was an old run-down warehouse built in the 1830s. But after my renovation, this is how it looks today. Despite the fact that my restaurant is filled with genuine antiques, the Liberty Eatery is an informal spot. I only serve meals when I want to. The customers eat whatever is being served that day, and the price is as big a surprise as the menu. Sometimes I don't know myself what I'm going to charge them until the customers are ready to leave. Signed, Kathrine Leddick. And while these three highly independent ladies make themselves comfortable, we'll hear a word or two from the clients and be right back. Now, as you undoubtedly remember, we have three charming ladies over here, all claiming to be Kathrine Leddick, proprietor of the Liberty Eatery restaurant. And panel, sorry, we're not serving food today, but we'll go for our food freak, Peggy Cass.
I don't think I care too much to start the day with that kind of a remark, but anyway. As Mrs. Leddick, number one, it says that your restaurant is located on the banks of this famed Champlain Canal. Well, I don't want to be dumb, but where's the famed Champlain Canal?
Well, it's at the Lock 12 on Lake Champlain.
Oh, way up in New York State?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Now, number three, what tier is Lake Champlain on in New York State?
What, tier? You mean what, lock?
No, yeah, right.
Well, it's at Lock 12.
Oh, okay. Now, number two, how many children have you adopted into your family?
We've adopted 8.
And do you always have enough business for all the kids to keep sloshing around those trays?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Thank you. Number one, how old is your youngest waitress?
15.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And number two, when you adopted these children, did you tell the place where you adopted them, well, I really want to adopt these kids into my family, and they're going to wait on table, too? Did that just come out of it?
It just happened, you know, that these children came into my life and they had no one to care for them, so I decided to take them under my wings.
Thank you.
Hey, and that buster takes us down to Gene Rayburn.
Yes, number 2, what kind of flour do you use in the bread you bake?
I don't bake the bread.
Number 3, do you bake your bread?
I do.
You do? What kind of flour do you use?
Oh, I use a mixture of several flours.
Would you name one?
I put bran in, I put cornflakes in,
Okay,
I put anything
thank you.
in.
Number 1,
Anything.
give us... Not going to catch me in that place if he puts anything in that. Number 1, name some things you might serve on the menu. I realize it's all spontaneous, but what might one expect to find?
Well, the first thing we serve is love.
Love.
Yes. We're very attached to the people who come to us and want to give them not only something to chew and swallow, but we want them to be happy about it. And I think that's a big part of serving a good meal.
Sure.
But
Number 2, besides love, what do you chew and swallow in your place?
Well, my specialty is a spinach salad and baked chicken with Parmesan cheese and soy sauce.
Oh, boy, wait, I'll get my hat and go with you. Let's go to Kitty.
Number 1. Number 2 said she didn't do the baking. Who does the cooking in your restaurant?
Well, I do a good part of it. However, the bread is generally baked, started the night before. As you know, it has to raise
Yes,
and so forth.
I see. Thank you.
And
Thank you. Number 3, what is the oldest child that you adopted? What is the age of the oldest?
When I adopted them, you mean?
No, now.
Oh, now? Oh, probably 35.
And she still works with you?
They all stay close.
That's marvelous. Number 2, do you break even in your restaurant?
Oh, yes.
You do?
Oh, yes.
And number 1, do you charge the people who are unpleasant more than the people who are happy?
I don't serve people who are unpleasant.
What do you tell them?
Well, I size them up when they come in because I'm really the hostess as well as the general factotum around the
So
place.
what do you say when they're unpleasant?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. We have everything is reserved for this afternoon or this evening. Depends on what.
Thank you. Number 3.
And that takes us to Alan Alda.
Number 2, is that true? Is that what you do when people come in the door? Do you tell them your old...
Well, I actually, if I can assume that these people are going to be not nice people, I try to break them down a little bit and make them become nice before I ask them to kindly leave the restaurant.
I see. Number 1, if all the tables are empty, do you tell them that they're all reserved?
I tell them that we have a big party coming in because every 2 weeks the Canadian line comes down with a party of people. The whole ship comes in and we have a great
Right
big
into the
shindig.
restaurant, right?
And all around the outside, and they come and see our theater.
Number 3, do you charge according to people's ability to pay?
Definitely.
Oh, like a doctor.
Yes, what the traffic will bear. If they haven't any money, I feed them. And if they've got it, why, we take it. It's a balanced affair, you know. It's non-commercial.
There goes the ding-dong. A lot of questions to be asked here, but our questioning time is up. Based on what we've learned, we mark our ballots. We mark them for number 1, or for number 2, or for number 3. I suppose you know by now that we pay $50 for each wrong vote. We pay $500 if all the votes are incorrect, and Peggy Cass starts.
Well, it was very difficult for me. I really thought it was number 1 until she mentioned the Canadian line. She gave me more information than I wanted. But number 2 said Parmesan cheese and soy sauce, both on chicken. It would be so salty, wouldn't it? And number 3, I don't like your bread recipe. But I voted for number 1 despite the Canadian line.
All right, you got a 1, Sean. We're going to go to Gene
He's
Rayburn.
nodding yes, so I know I'm wrong.
Well, when they were standing stage center here, number 3 almost forgot what her name was. So Alan and I looked at her and says, oh, boy, sure can't be that one. But I voted for her anyway because... Because of the 3, she's the only one who appears to me could look at me with a room full of empty tables and say, we're all booked up, son.
You got a 3 and a 1. Kitty, what do you want to do?
Well, it's funny. I didn't think number 3 could remember her name either. But with all those children and that kind of catch-as-can business, also she didn't know that what tier of New York State Lake Champlain was in, either the southern tier, the northern tier, the middle tier. But I voted for her anyway.
She must know the tier she's on.
All righty, you got a pair of threes. And where are you going to go, Al?
Well, I was convinced it was number 2 when they first came out because she just seemed to have more authority about who she was and about all her answers after that, and just seemed to take it more personally, everything. So I just stuck with it. Number 2.
All righty, we're all across the board. A 1, a 2, and a pair of threes. The votes are all in. You think what, Peggy?
I think he's right.
I think
it's
Alan's
number
right.
one.
But I'm not changing my vote.
I think it's number 1.
Well, you're not allowed to change your vote. You would like to change your 3 to a 1. Kitty, well, you're not allowed to do that. All right, so what we're going to do is just say the votes are all in with the real. Kathrine Leddick, please stand up.
Look who it is.
Here we are. Mrs. Leddick knows her name. The rule says that you must tell the truth. It doesn't say that you must tell the truth convincingly. She's rather sly. Let's go to number 1. Number 1, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
I'm Felicia Soybell, and I'm a member of the advertising committee of the National Horse Show in New York.
Uh-huh. And number 2, please.
My name is Mary Leah Weiss, and I'm chairman of the Committee to Protect New York City Animals.
Mrs. Leddick, it says on my card here that I have a question that I must ask you. I have a feeling I'll ask the question and stand back. I understand you have a theatrical enterprise at the Liberty Eatery. Tell us about it.
It's the greatest show since P.T. Barnum, and we guarantee that. It's one of the greatest antique shows, and it should be especially attractive to NBC. It's the first professional picture show that came to America before the days of camera. It's the great Phantasmagoria, and it's all in jewel dust painting in color. It belonged to Abraham Lincoln. He was the first one to see projected color in this country. And the subject is how to build a nation. Independence Day, individually and collectively.
Thanks. I do want to thank you, Kathrine Leddick and ladies, for being with us here on To Tell the Truth. Thank you so much.